In this interactive guide, you'll learn how to classify data using sensitive information types or SITs with Microsoft Purview Information Protection. Hello, I am Cio Rodriguez. You'll see how information protection can help you identify sensitive items in your organization with pre-built and custom SITs. This is the Microsoft Purview compliance portal where we are logged in as a compliance administrator. It's important to clarify that this is the old portal, the classic portal. The So this is found at compliance.microsoft.com. But when you go to that URL, it will redirect you to the new compliance portal, which is purview.microsoft.com. But anyway, so this interactive guide is was created using uh, the old portal, but basically the information is exactly the same. So we're going to start expanding the data classification component here. And then within data classification, we are going to click into classifiers. Sensitive information types are pattern-based identifiers that detect sensitive items within your organization. Microsoft 365 includes many built-in types that are ready to use. And if there is info types that is not pre-built, then you can create your own sensitive info types. And that actually happens very often. Companies have unique requirements, unique data, and most of the time, the information type that is provided by Microsoft is not enough. But in either case, out of the box here, we have 330 and 13 uh, sets, and the number is bigger because again, this is a an interactive guide that was created um, a while ago, and if you go to the new portal, we'll see that in other demos, but if you go to the new portal, the number is around 333 nowadays. If we scroll down, we see then more info type as well. If we click on one of the sensitive info types, let's click on credit card number. This set uh, detects credit card numbers. And we see over here a description of it, the confidence level, it was created by Microsoft, and how it was created. So basically, this is telling you how it was created, all the information that is used, and as we navigate through this guides, you will learn how to create your own set. But it is also important to understand the structure of how these sets are created so that you can apply the same principles when you create your own sets. If we click on, um, if we go to Microsoft Learn and we look for, credit card number at learn.microsoft.com, and then we look for credit card number. Here we have information about, the format, the pattern, the checksum, and information about the definition, the keywords, all that kind of stuff. So basically, this is designed to detect any, you know, used by um, all the credit card companies, Amex, American Express, Visa, MasterCard, you name it, right? And so basically that's what it is. So it use, expressions that we're going to go through a lot of this, but it's important to know if you want to learn more about this, that's where you go. So again, we are within the credit card number piece, and this is an overview. Now, let's say that we want to find out if there are matched items, if there are credit card numbers within our environment in Microsoft 365. If I click on matched items, these are the locations. This is M365 is composed by Exchange, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams. And yes, we could expand this beyond, but for now, we are specifically talking about the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. So if I drill down and click on OneDrive, here is another location. Let me just click on this. And here are two items, but there's one item that has credit card numbers. If I click on this file, this could be an employee, this could be anybody, right? And control purchasing permissions, and this is the document. And yes, so we found credit card numbers in this document, okay? And the confidence level. If we open the document itself and we can click on this to have full screen, look at this. Then here is the letter, here is the document, and there it goes. There is a credit card number. Now, this is a fake, a fictitious credit card number, but this is the format of a credit card number in will be discovered by this sensitive info type. If I look at the contextual summary, I see more information and metadata details about this document. And so we can discover all this type of sets in Microsoft. Now, let's say that, remember, this vacuum or this technology uses artificial intelligence, basically meaning that it learns from patterns. So if we confirm that, yes, this is a valid finding, and to train the model, then, we would say match, and then, so from now on, the model would know that, well, yes, this is, and then it would learn from that. So, and here we see information that, um, when you help Microsoft to improve the accuracy of this, a lot of companies do not like to do this, but it is important to emphasize that all of this would be anonymized. I mean, there's no personal information that will be transferred to Microsoft. Okay, you would have to agree and stuff like. And again, not telling you don't have to do this. This is voluntary. And as I said, in the real world, a lot of people don't do this. But Microsoft is very confident that this is a credit card number. Okay, so let's go back into the sensitive info types. Okay, and let's now search for a driver's license. So here we have driver's licenses from most countries. So what that means is that we are able to detect sensitive info types pertaining to driver's license from basically any country. Let's look into identification, for example. And again, the same thing. We get identifications from Argentina, Australia, Canada, you name it, from hundreds of countries. Okay. Now, this sets detect various scientific. We talked about that, and now let's go into the type. There are different types of the SIT. Here we are going to look in at the all credential types. What does that mean? This is a bundled identity set, which is a type of sensitive information type that encompasses multiple different sensitive information types. Specifically, this set detects credentials from all supported services and environments, which include Amazon, Azure, GitHub, Google, Microsoft, you know, almost anything in Microsoft, Azure, and 365, Slack, and much more. Okay. If we want to learn more about this SIT, again, we can look for the documentation of all credential sensitive information type. And then here again, we see information how this thing is created and also what it contains. So this bundle entity set contains this individual sets. That's why it's a bundle, right? And if we scroll down, we see a lot more. Okay. If we close this, let's go back into, and again, so this is the all credential type. If we scroll down, we can see the all full names. So this all full name set is a special bundle entity type, again, that uh, call a bundle name entity set, as we just said. Name entities are complex dictionary and pattern-based classifiers that can detect person names and physical addresses, as well as medical terms and conditions. All of these are sensitive info types. This bundled name entity set detects full names for people from all supported countries and regions, right? So, and again, uh, medical terms. This will detect all medical terms, blood and lab tests, medication, procedures, etc. Okay, and this is the all physical addresses. This will detect patterns related to physical addresses from all supported countries and regions as well. We'll just close this. Now let's go back into, if we come back here to this menu below classifying, we'll click on Content Explorer. You can use Content Explorer to review items in your organizations in which sensitive information types have been detected. To look at an example, um, let's scroll down and we're going to select the US Social Security number, which is a very sensitive piece of information in the United States. So if we click on this, and the same thing, we're going to drill down. So we're going to drill down into SharePoint. It says that there are 8 instances of US Social Security number. If we scroll down, and so here is a document that supposedly contains that kind of information. So if we open that up, again, here it is. This is the format of a social security number in the United States. It's the 3 digits, dash 2 digits, dash 4 digits. Obviously, these are fake and fictitious numbers that we use, for this interactive guides. If we click on these, on this contextual summary, then we see more information about that. Okay. We go back to classifiers. Um, so remember that we said that there's tons of sets that come bundled with Microsoft that come already made. So you can start using these classifiers right away without doing anything. But the reality is that many companies have sensitive info types that are not free can. That you have to create your own because they are unique to your organization. So what we're going to do now, we are going to create a sensitive info type. So we're going to click on create sensitive info types. You need to give it a name. So we're going to call this research and development. And a description is also mandatory. If you see that little red asterisk. It basically means that, not everything is mandatory, but in this case it is. Okay. And then we're going to click on next. Um, Sensitive information types are defined by one or more patterns. So we're going to create a pattern here, and we're going to make this a medium confidence. We'll explain that as we move along. We're going to add a primary element. So these are the different ways in which you can create. You can use a regular expression. You can use word list, a keyword dictionary, and functions. In this case, we're going to use a keyword list. And we're going to need to name the keyword list. We're going to call it research and development terms. And we are going to decide whether you want it to be case insensitive or case sensitive. In this case, we're going to make it case insensitive. So these are the projects that we want to detect. Doesn't matter that they are lowercase or uppercase, that's why it's case insensitive. So we want to detect project Olivine, or just Olivine, the word Olivine, or project Obsidian or Obsidian. So these are names of projects that contain sensitive data in this manufacturing company, and that's what we want to do. So we're going to click on done, and we're going to now you could increase the accuracy of detection. uh, you can you can specify all the requirements and add supporting elements. The more supporting elements that you add, the more confidence, the more likelihood that it will detect exactly what you want to detect. And we'll discuss that later on. But for now, we're going to create this. Okay. So here is our pattern. Now we're going to create another pattern. I'm going to click on create a pattern. And this, we're going to use keyword list again, and then we're going to choose the same keyword list that we chose, that we typed before. We don't need to type it again because it's saved. So we can go ahead and add that keyword list. And here are those elements. Click on done. But what we're going to do here is that we are going to add a supporting element. Okay. And so add supporting elements. And here, now we're going to add a regular expression. Now, need to name it. Regular expressions, I remember working with regular expressions before artificial, this programs like Copilot and ChatGPT, and they're very challenging. But nowadays, it is so easy to create any regular expression um, using Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you use, right? So that's the regular expression. I'm not going to go into the details of, what this regular expression does and things like that. If you want to learn more about that, you could basically take that thing right there, those characters, put into any generative AI program, and we'll explain to you what it's doing. So I'm going to click on done and click on create. Okay. So here are my patterns defined. I'm going to click on next, and the confidence level is high. I don't need to change that. Here's a summary of what you're doing. You can go back and change some things. Um, the name cannot be changed, but you could change other things. Actually, even the name, you can change it there. Click on next, or rather create, and then this will start creating. So your sensitive info type has been created. Okay. If we click on search, let's look at that sensitive info types that we created. And here it is. And notice that in the publisher, it will say Contoso. Contoso is the name of the company that we're using in this interactive guide. It's a fictitious company that we use at Microsoft for demos. But notice how, so the publisher is Contoso, not Microsoft. That means that it's easy to find your, the ones that you have created. If we click on it and we want to test this custom sensitive info type. So once you've created a sensitive info type like this, you'll want to test it with documents that match the patterns that you defined to ensure that it accurately detects content matches. So we're going to run a test. I'm going to click on test. I'm going to upload a file that contains those documents, or I could load a file that does not contain those documents to make sure that it really detects. Okay? Here's the file, and then I'm going to click on test. And voila. So we have detected the following in product announcement, blah, blah, blah. And it will tell you that, yes, it found that information. So it found the words and it tells you 14 elements and, all that kind of stuff. So good stuff. Let's go back into the sensitive info types. And again, more documentation. We are going to now, so that's the sensitive info type, but we're going to now look at document fingerprinting. There's another type of sensitive info types. So the document fingerprinting identifies the unique word pattern in a form or a template. What it's called, its fingerprint, right? That can then be detected in other similar documents because a lot of sensitive information is not in regular documents. Companies have forms, resumes, a whole bunch of stuff that contains in a structure pattern, right? In a kind of like a form. This is what we're going to do now. So you can create a fingerprint of the document, kind of, something similar to this, right? And that's what we're going to be doing next. So so we were here remember, we are still in classifiers. We created a sensitive info type. Now we're going to create another type of info type, but it's now using a fingerprint-based sensitive info type. So we're going to click on this. Need to give a name as usual, and we also need to give it a description. It's the same thing. Click on next. Next, we are going to upload the template file that you want to create a fingerprint for. So we need to have a template that we can use to train the system. Here's the template, and no need to change anything here. Click on create. All right, fingerprint has been created. Let's search for it. This is for a patent, US patent application. So this is the form to apply for a US patent, right? If we click on test, do the same thing. We're going to upload a template that contains that kind of information. We're going to test it. And the same thing, it has this detected that as well. Finish. Okay. So now you can use this to detect and block any document that matches that type of documentation. Okay, and that's all in this interactive guide. You can learn more about this those resources over there. You just search for that in Bing or Google or whatever your preferred method is. Um, but anyway, so this interactive guide is complete. Hope that this has been informative. If you find this interesting, subscribe to my channel to get more of this in the future. Thank you, and hope that you continue watching my channel.